And then now with you in terms of dating, what is it that you're looking for?
I don't know. Okay, for me, I don't want to say I had a different
You're
gate.
still a virgin, right? Oh,
wow. What a question. 23, right?
No,
21.
I'm 21.
21.
yes.
Okay. So I'll take that as no, I'm not. It is the queer way of life with me, Bujy Bikwa, with the one and only Katlego and Amanda. And we're coming to you live, guys, from David Mashabela Studios. And today we are joined by a fabulous young man, Archie Success. How are you, Archie?
I'm great in yourself.
I'm good. So we're still here at David Mashabela Studios. And remember, if you want to come and shoot your podcast, very easy. Just email podcast@mashabela.co.za. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you.
So we have had like a few exciting episodes, and one thing that I've always wanted to talk about, it was mainly in terms of the LGBTQI, living with albinism or living with disability. And I happened to chat to Archie, like he was like he loves the podcast so much. So I to Archie, come, I want to do a show with you. He's like, he says to me, I'm speechless. So he says I'm speechless. Oh, sorry, are you deaf? I need to get a translator. Like, no, I mean like I'm speechless.
I was actually quite excited. I didn't expect that at all. It was like I send you that message as a compliment to continue doing the podcast because of it helps a lot of us.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
And when I spoke to you, I was like, listen, you represent so much in terms of LGBTQI, and when you said you said to me you're openly gay, I was like, how has it been, like, you obviously living with albinism and also being a homosexual?
I don't know. It has normal. I don't know if that's the right way to say, but it has been normal because I've never experienced homophobia out like from people walking or like from just a random person. I've never experienced homophobia, so it has been normal. And like most of the time, older ladies like misgendering me. They'll be like, and even taxi drivers will be like walking and be like, they'll be like, I'm like, do I look like a woman? Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
What's your preferred pronoun? He, she?
Anything. Like it doesn't change anything. I'm still a man. I'm still I'm still a guy.
Thanks.
And you said now it was hard for you. You went to boarding school all your life.
Yeah, like 12 years I've been in boarding school.
Why was that?
Simply because of mainstream schools cannot accommodate people with disabilities.
Oh,
yeah.
This is sad, eh?
Yeah.
So I had my mother had to take me to a boarding school. Yeah.
And also now, when you are now gay, was that, did you have to do like a come out party, or did you have to like how does that happen?
No, I didn't actually have to do anything. I've never really come out to anyone. Okay, except for like people I meet in varsity or like younger people. But with my family, I've never really had to come out because they are always saying you look like a girl, you act like a girl. I'm like, darling. So that has never been a problem with me. So so with my mother, she's okay. And that is actually a good thing.
And so now at UP, you in is it University of Pretoria?
Yes, definitely.
And now, actually, University of Pretoria, like, how's the treatment there? Do you get maybe rejected because of your skin condition sometimes when you try to date as well?
Actually, with my experience in UP, I've met like really lovely people. They've never been like discriminatory to me. So they've always been lovely and accepting, but I've always been scared of dating, obviously.
Why?
I have insecurities about my about my skin, my facially sightedness. Like that is an insecurity on its own. So because of I went to a boarding school all my life with other people with disabilities, I've never really had to deal with the fact that I have albinism, or I live with albinism and I cannot see. So when I finished my matric and went to varsity, that's when I was like, oh my goodness. So now I have to deal with I have to accept that I live with albinism. So yeah, in 2019, first year in varsity, I was actually scared of like walking to campus. I would actually come early.
This is me thinking, when I spoke to you, I thought you were 15.
I'm not. I'm actually not.
And his height as well. You think that he's...
I'm sure, but don't I look older, Yana?
No.
Seriously, I have beards. I shaved them.
You shave them.
Yes.
Then maybe keep the beard.
No. I want to look cute and handsome.
And handsome
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
So you were still saying?
I was still saying that when I went to varsity in 2019, that's when I had to deal with my insecurities. I didn't have to deal with my sexuality because I've already knew that I'm gay from primary school. So that has never been a problem to me. Dealing with my sexuality, accepting that I'm gay. No, I've never.
And then the dating part?
Yeah.
I can't be guys.
Yeah, that is a struggle. But I've dated one person when I went to varsity. Let's just say it didn't end well because of my insecurities.
Oh.
Yes, like
okay.
yeah. So I just had to break up. Like I thought maybe they wouldn't want to walk with me in public because of I live with albinism, or because of I'm short, or because of like I'm a little bit chubby, or like yeah. So I have so many insecurities now that I'm talking about them. It's actually scary, and I'm dealing with them. But yeah,
I'm sure there is like facilities that can also, let's say if you are looking for help, there is people that can offer counseling, like Queer Well. I would suggest that you give them a call. They're just going to help you go through it. But anyway, you mentioned to me before we started shooting that you've never attended Pride because of the very same insecurities. Have you received like some sort of a backlash from the community, or is it just generally a feeling that you have?
Yeah, I've never attended it because of, let me just say, I didn't even have, I had one opportunity to attend Pride, but I actually decided not to go because of I didn't want to come out as like the gay person with albinism. I don't want to be known as like, oh, the gay person living with albinism. Like, I don't want to be the poster boy, gay, living with albinism. You know those things. Be like, yeah. So I actually decided not to go. The Pride was at campus. So I was like, I'm not going. And yeah.
Even though when you knew that a lot of people already are used to you being around the campus, you still had those insecurities. Do you think that it's something that you are still going to be in the process prolonging to, find yourself comfortable in your own skin?
I am comfortable in my own skin. The reason, actually, I think last 2020, I've done a lot of introspection because of obviously Corona. You become depressed and stuff. So I've done a lot of introspection, and I've realized that, the reason, the source of my insecurities comes from the fact that I'm actually facially sighted, and like I cannot see people very far, and I'm an extrovert. I talk a lot. So I talk a lot. So I didn't want to be rude to people. Sometimes I cannot see people when they're passing because of maybe I am not used to them, because of obviously it's not just my eyesight helping me identify a person. I use your body type, your height, the type of the style of clothing you like to wear. So it's actually a process for me to get to identify a person when that person is very far. So the reason why my insecurities are there is because of I'm an extrovert, and I don't want to be rude to people saying that, oh, when I umponi and then I want to do this, or when you're just passing, you don't greet people. Yeah.
Yeah. So because like South Africa is known for its violence and also the connotation of albino people
Albinism killings,
being killed, do you fear for your life sometimes?
Because of I was in a security of a boarding school. To tell the truth, I've never feared for my life in my time at school because of I was in a boarding school, and boarding school is basically like a prison, unless if you go.
You see, Max Nana.
And it's funny how parents will say, go to boarding school, and then you're just like, bad.
Boarding school, but there are some boarding schools which are nice. But yeah, for me, I've never really I've never really been threatened. But after, high school and stuff, I remember I was visiting my father's side of the family at home, and then obviously I'm from Bush, Matsonga. So and then this guy was like Imali or like Mali, and it hits me home because I was like, oh my goodness, okay, breathe in and out, calm down, don't overreact, just carry on working. And yeah, that's when I realized, okay, this thing is very serious. Not that I didn't take it serious before. It's just that I've never really had to experience that type of threat before. Yeah, and I didn't really talk to anyone about it because of obviously I don't know. I didn't talk to anyone about it. But that was literally the first threat I've ever had to encounter in real life after leaving, my school, after leaving high school. Yeah.
And then now with you, in terms of dating, what is it that you're looking for?
I don't know. Okay, for me, I don't want to say I had a different
You're
gaze.
still a virgin, right?
Oh wow! What a question! 23, right?
No,
21.
I'm 21.
21. Oh, okay. So I'll take that as no, I'm not.
Oh my God. With dating, okay, let me just say this: if if someone has grown up in a boarding school and they are straight up, okay, if someone is from a boarding school, you have a different life experience than people who went to mainstream schools. Because for me, I realized I was gay in primary. So already I realized, okay, I'm gay. And the way some people doing shady stuff, having sex, I don't know if that,
No, of course.
obviously, yeah. So they were having sex.
18.
So you can imagine I'm exposed to that at a very young age in school. And it was older people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gay.
And with with dating, would you do online dating?
I'm actually scared of online dating.
And
but
why is that?
because of people are not genuine. They are not genuine. I remember first time I had Tinder. I opened my account, I put my pictures there, and this person inboxed me, and they were like, oh, okay, you're living with albinism, right? I'm like, why is that even a question? Why are you asking me that before even greeting me?
Sure.
And then they're like, oh no, I'm just looking, to taste a person with albinism. I blocked them. It was
Bathong.
yeah, it was.
People are sick.
Yo, the fetish it's a snacks it's a.
So he wanted a sexual favor from
Yes,
you.
they were like, I want to taste
So
someone.
that's a red flag, ne?
Yeah, it's so, I don't know. Why do you want to? There is nothing different. It's a red flag. Yeah, it is.
So you wouldn't you would say that Kadi online dating it's a bit dangerous for a person living with albinism.
I don't want to say it's a bit dangerous. It's just that obviously I just don't like it because I've never, with all the people I've dated, I've never met them online dating, or they've never really they didn't approach me like, you're cute. It was the thing of okay, now I'm with Katli, for example, and then we spend a lot of time with each other, and suddenly there is chemistry. I've never really met a person be like, you're cute, I would love to date with you. No, it was that thing of us having feelings for each other, and then after maybe accepting that we have feelings for each other, and then like talking about it, be like, okay, I actually feel tingly with you. Yeah. So I've never really like dated in a way I'm cute or like nna ke lata motho mongwe. So that is like
Azanka la shelwa.
azanka ka shela or like azanka ka shela motho o mongwe. So it's so weird for me, like it's still weird to this day, because I've never with all the people I've dated, I've never like, you know, started with communication. It's always feelings first.
It's always feelings first.
Yes.
And so now how do you start this? What are now these your friends or that you end up dating? How does it work?
No,
when
it's
you
not,
say like it's chemistry, you spend time with them.
It's not like friends. It's like, obviously when I started dating in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, not like in in primary.
So you were dating in primary.
I didn't date. I kissed a boy in primary.
In
You
primary.
liked
Yes.
it.
Oh, my 2K1.
Yeah, so that happened because of, obviously, the boy was like a superstar football player. So
And about us to
so obviously, so honestly, this place where in my primary school, like Richinta Diaparo and everything. So this other time he was alone preparing to go to a soccer practice match, and I went there, and I didn't have feelings for that person before. So that time, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I feel like spirits or something was just going through the room. I started feeling something because I literally went there and I was like, what are you doing? And then that's when I discovered, oh, what am I feeling? Obviously, I'm still like,
young.
I'm still young. Like, I'm confused. What am I feeling? And you know, everything led to one another, like, you know, touching, and now we kissed. And then the boy obviously was, I cannot say he is gay. I don't know. I actually don't know. But like, yeah, he never dated a boy. So we kissed, and like it was weird for both of us. So yeah, that's
how it all began.
Yeah.
Kana ko uko primary.
In high school, you
Yo,
also
get your no
dated.
accent.
high school. I also dated.
Eh.
So
No, high school na setsa thotse cum laude.
but like in primary, yeah, I started like kissing that boy. Like maybe in I think it's grade 6. I was still little. In Exalongwana, Mapimpana.
Mapimpa.
Yeah.
So would you say like because I know Robanaba School, but you're saying that you went to a different school. How's the rejection now as an adult? Because you mentioned that some people would even go to a level of stooping low to say one is cursed to live with albinism.
Okay, so after joining Tinder, I was like, okay, Tinder, you know, it's not my thing. I deleted Tinder, and I was introduced to Grindr.
Oh my gosh, that site.
Yes.
No more.
The hookup app.
Yeah.
So I went there. Obviously, I was so scared of, you know, plastering my pictures on Grindr.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, it was just
Avatar.
yeah, it did not have pictures. So I met this guy, and we talked. I'm like, okay, that point where we had to send each other pictures, and I sent him my picture. I was like, okay, the first person blocked me instantly after.
After you sent a
yes,
picture.
Oh,
like
no.
blocked me.
That's rude.
They blocked me. Okay, so the second person was like, actually, not to be rude, but I don't want to date people with albinism because of it's considered a curse in my religion. And yeah, that statement alone literally opened me up, and my insecurities were like, I was like, I'm done with online dating.
It's online. Let me you know, I totally understand where you're coming from, because I've also faced a lot of rejection, and I've always said the reason why I end up sometimes dating certain people because bougie. Not because they're sorry they'll go for someone like me. I mean, you go on Grindr, you see guys that will post things like no fats, no femmes,
Yes.
you know, and which
no
is
short people.
No short people.
Yes.
And I'm just like, okay, no, it's fine. It's your preference. We understand you. And then you look at that person. Then I'm love. And it has been the biggest thing in the queer community, whereby that level of rejection that people do is it totally leaves me so confused. Are we that shallow? Yeah, or we cannot love people with certain body structures or certain disabilities, or we can just inject it no again.
You know, I feel as though it's okay for people to have their preferences.
I always say that. Yes,
Yeah.
true.
And my problem starts when there's an ethnic reason, meaning that a certain culture is perpetuating. For example, he's saying that according to my culture, it is perceived bad luck to date somebody living with albinism. That I have a problem with it, because now it means we are sitting with a problem in Africa again for more and more years, because now you guys are going to base your nonsense logic on culture, as if this culture doesn't evolve. You know, it's okay that back in the days things were happening, but
These
right
things
now
were man-made. That's how I view culture.
No,
And I'm just like,
exactly, and it doesn't mean we can't educate each other, because it's like this gay thing where they would say that it's a Western influence, and you would go to the outskirts
have you read our history
of Nigeria, you would go to Yoruba, and you would see that there's a gay in every community. And
exactly.
Yeah, and before colonization,
Yeah.
like I think in Ghana or something, like homosexuality was allowed. That word is, I don't like it, but anyways, yeah, it was allowed. So the king can marry a guy.
Yes.
So, but obviously after colonization, you know, white people saying
For it to be done. That's why I'm saying if it's based on cultural reasons, then your preference is bullshit, because you are not teaching us to love one another.
But also another thing, when you are going to go on Grindr, also besides culture and everything, I become so offended when somebody says that, when they say no fats, no femmes, no, you know, it's that level of rejection that makes people to not feel confident about themselves, to make people feel like they are less than than any other human being. It's okay, have your preference, but don't put it as a status as well, to say how shallow can one be, you know. It really does offend me. That's why sometimes there was other guy, I wanted to catfish him because he said no fats, no femmes, and then so I didn't have my profile. This is like years, I'm like, I haven't done Grindr in years, and then I was chatting to him because a part of me, you know, to say so which means you don't have an opportunity to love someone who's chubby or who's plus size or who's a bit feminine. But because he assumes and then I am butch acting. Oh my love, oh
for me, I actually like those preferences. I am not okay with. If someone is saying no fats, no femme, I would never date that person, because for me, look at yourself. Why wouldn't you want to date a big person? Why? Is it because of the beauty standards? Is it because of you have do a self introspection? You will see actually that your rationale behind no fats, no femme, no blah blah blah, no bullshit, it's nonsensical. So I don't like people who have those preferences. For me, I leave them out. I run.
And there was this other guy who said on his profile is like, if we meet and then I find you that you're feminine acting, I will leave you there immediately.
Then goodbye.
What is it like?
What is it about homosexuality that, like, guys, the gay matata, guys? This is, for me, it's like huge, and especially the black community.
Exactly.
The black community, because when I look at white relationships, how now who's top, who's bottom, and then ubanu baba sendlini, ubanu mama sendlini, we have taken those standards about straight and made them our own.
Yeah, and that is actually wrong.
And then now this same-sex relationship doesn't make sense. Why do you try and make sense of it? I'm top, you are bottom. It already doesn't make sense. You know.
That's why I was even saying that on the other episode. I'm like, the bottom exactly want to tell me that you can't get an erection at some point whereby everyone's like, no, I am bottom. Literally, we are 95% is bottom, 5% is top. And on 1%, 4% is top, 1% is verse, 90, then 90. Mang thing. Bona. I am bottom, I want and I'm just like, I have never really dated a person because of their masculinity.
I think the traces of heteronormative cultures are being seen in the LGBTI community, especially the black queer community.
True.
The traces of wanting to replicate something that we are not is very evident, and it is tearing us apart instead of assisting us to understand that sexuality is something that is fluid. You know, it doesn't have a therefore. It cannot be shaped. We can't conform to anything. It's how you feel, and at that time you are looking for something that can complement you, not an exact shape or a mamaka. Papaka, so therefore I expect in a relationship to get, because it's not going to be like that.
Just to add on that, like, I find it, Kanti, what is being gay? Like, if we're now what is being gay? I get it. Being gay is a mixture of femininity and masculinity. So Kanti, when I uri unyaka moto umu masculine or ragoring some of straight.
Yes, when I
People about bora,
But I want to ask you something when it comes to this whole relationship, Barking. Conformment with you being an albinism.
With albinism, living with albinism.
Yes. Do you ever see yourself falling in love purely based on the fact that you want to be loved and you also want to offer love to someone else without having to look at all these, stereotypical issues that people are now addressing that is really not relevant?
Yeah. I do see myself loving someone and that person loving me without, any expectations or standards or like any discriminatory issues towards me. So yeah, I do see myself loving another person, and that person reciprocating that love unconditionally.
Wow.
Have you ever dated someone so handsome? And this is like, I'm asking you guys, or someone so pretty, and you end up not seeing anything hot about them, because of the character, that the person that they are. And that's been one of my biggest thing. I was once with someone who was very, very handsome, cooking team and everything. I tell you till today, that man, Angboni next. I just see someone who's just pure evil, and who's whereby if we had to learn to judge people based on character, we would do so well.
Because I've had a proximity of someone that was very obsessed with looks to a point whereby the personality was so shitty that it would be so difficult for me to sit with this person without arguing, because honestly speaking, you throw yourself around, and you throw your weight around, and because you look so good, you're well dressed, but you don't necessarily have the skills, the human skills, to wait for somebody to talk, and then you can talk later. You think, hore, life is Instagram, and bophelo abo jwalo. Instagram.
I think we both have problems there.
Yeah. Because you have a shitty personality, but you are good looking. That I've had an encounter
so
with
many
such
times,
and it's it's so sad to see that. It's a defense mechanism, and it's okay, because when we don't see ourselves that we are toxic. Toxic. We are all complaining about toxicity, but no one can say, guys, nake toxic and
everyone is
smart.
No, but I'm
very toxic. Yeah.
Everyone is toxic. Everyone is toxic.
It's not even about personality. It's about behavior. You can be the hottest guy under the sun or hottest girl under the sun, but also your behavior, the way you also hold yourself, the way you portray your external image.
Yeah.
Also turns a lot of people, well, it turns me off because you could be the hottest thing under the sun. Forget your personality, but how you behave as well. It is, for me, young bidi sakamogare because you like, but why are you so pompous about yourself when you behaving like a shitty guy?
My best friend Tsitsi once said, because every time when I'm with, like, oh, you look so hot. And Tsitsi, it's like, oh, thank you. It's like, what? I don't understand when people keep on saying I look so hot. It's as if I sat there and I chose this looks. That's another thing to say. And at the end of the day, the thing that you need to be working on is your character, because you didn't sit there and you chose the way you look. You understand?
There's something that I dealt with during the week where it really bothered me. I even asked my mom, I said, do I really look like a girl? Somebody was as usual, stumbled in my inbox and we're going up and down. And then the following day, 3 days later, he's like, I want you to be my woman. And I'm like, you do know that I am a man. He says, what? With the emojis. I'm like, I'm a gay man. He says, I thought you were a woman. And I asked him the question, do I look like you've already seen the pics on my profile. Yes. Plenty of them. Where does it look like I'm a woman?
Number one, kulisani nchebe, guys.
No. But do I really look like a woman? I don't think I look like a woman. He was just being nasty.
Yeah.
Because honestly speaking, he knew he was speaking to a gay guy. He probably wanted to see how far I was going to take it.
Yeah.
And why do people get shocked when they DM you and you respond to their DM? It's like, oh no, I didn't expect.
Yeah, no,
So why did you DM me?
I mean, serious.
So it's starting to bother you. Is it?
It
It's
does.
not the first
it really
time it
does.
does.
Like even now, every straight guy, because they say they're straight, every straight guy that inboxes me that I choose to respond to, I always say, you are aware that, like one who sent me a text last night in inbox, DM, Instagram. Hi, hello, beautiful. How are you? Thank you for the compliment. You do know that I'm a guy. He's like, I know, but I'm just saying you're beautiful.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I don't want to find myself having to say to another person, you do know that I'm a gay guy. Why should it get to that point?
And that's why living go Twitter, more Insta, more Facebook, but to can say the rainbow profile. Guys, please.
You know what you're going to deal with when you come here.
So another thing, success that I always have seen, how liberal my gay my 2000.
Yes, we are. We should be. Why not?
I'm a vandal.
That's because of, I don't know, maybe it's because of, obviously, people are now, are more accepting now than they were, like, in
and you guys date each other. That's the nicest thing. You don't aspire to date, like, older men.
Some people do because of Instagram and they want to be like Kardashians and what, but
the
most
Kardashians have their own mind.
yeah, some people do. I some people do, but
but also, why le na le problem le rena di cross mute tse kholo?
Oh no.
Because Hurricane ba no re yo bokuku ba banyaka mmo nako ya bona e fitile.
I remember going to Liquid Blue, guys. Listen, I think you were there. I was at Liquid Blue and then I'm sitting there and I started laughing. I'm like, are you aware this used to be us? Because now we've outgrown
up and down.
Even like they're wearing the shorts, crop top, hair and everything. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, we need to show you guys. Like, I'm gay and proud. Yeah,
I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah,
I'm so proud. I'm sure even people that were fighting for this day to come, they're very happy where they are. Even lesbians and gays that have lost their lives, they're so happy with how the journey has come. Aluta continue.
But please leave us, guys. Hurricane, just let us
so they always call us
we just want to sit down and have a drink.
And I was laughing. Someone what's saying? I forgot. But nje, I say like masing sis ute the older, I think it's Katele Yilava, the older gay guys, man, I cannot even paraphrase it. But it was just saying something about the older generation. Ronabo, the 80, mang.
Antical.
Bola Sizo have paved the way, guys.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, Narciso is very, very flamboyant, and he lives the world, the best of both, because he can be extremely feminine and wear the hair, and come back and be masculine, which is something that I've always fought for. To say, sometimes I became so tired to go into spaces where I've been told, you're not gay enough. Sometimes I would be told that. Say you're not gay enough, or sometimes you tell you're too gay, or you know. I'm just like, hey man.
Let me tell you, Lasizwe, because of Lasizwe, I don't know. Many people will be like, "You're gay." Oh, do you remind me of Lasizwe? I'm like, okay. Anyways, but what my point is, he has paved he has made people accept that they are gays, lesbians, like people, everyone, sexuality needs to be explored. And I like the fact that sometimes he's he wears masculine and he's masculine. Sometimes makeups and Nicki Minaj's. Yeah.
So Archie, just in closing, for me, what would you advise a young boy or a young girl living with albinism today? What would you tell them? How would you assist them conduct themselves so that they make their lives safer and more comfortable?
First things first, take care of yourself and take care of your skin. Our skin is sensitive. So sunscreen, because I've seen many people with albinism about sunscreen, and that is a concern to me because of cancer. Sunscreen, I don't know, and
isn't sunscreen supposed to be like the basic thing that you living with albinism a person would use?
Yeah, some people don't. I can see why. Obviously, maybe nationally a different experience, but ko boarding school, people didn't like Hotola the sunscreen. So Hotola sunscreen, Lena actually didn't like it. But anyways, I came to realize.
Also, or it's sunscreen.
Yeah,
no.
There
goes the
Kobisa. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other thing is, obviously, from people who went to living with albinism and going to mainstream schools, learn accept yourself, learn to live with albinism, meaning learn to navigate life with albinism in a sense. You must understand you're partially sighted, or you must understand your eyes are sensitive to light. You must understand your skin is sensitive as well. So learn to live with albinism, so that hemuto omonga provoke or what they use those derogatory names. You must just be it's fine. Just learn to accept yourself, because of people about offender. It can penetrate when you have accepted yourself.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Do you know what I've learned with using when I did my show, on Mzansi Magic, where I got 2 nominees, but I didn't win another. The SAFTA award, I still want one. So I started using Studla Sokobo, because I want people to understand, Guti, don't think I walk past the mirror and I don't see what's happening here.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes people will come with that and they'll come for you and they'll destroy you. And also I learned one thing. The other time I was doing a show with Boiti, and Boiti said something to me. He said, sometimes you have to speak ill of yourself to make other people feel comfortable around you. Because sometimes it's easy for you to keep on calling yourself, and then so that people will start now feeling a certain way. So it's don't ever do that. And there was a time I literally stopped, whereby now I walk into the room, there is no way you're going to miss me. Life is a gift, and I think that we need to learn to live it, and with so many people that we've lost, you know, we need to start taking care of each other, and most importantly, let's learn to be kind. Guys, we are not kind to each other.
No,
definitely
never.
we are not.
We are not kind. I learned that the hard way when I see the things that people will say about me that don't even know me, to say, but that is not kind. Think about your siblings. Think about someone, or if that had to happen to someone close to you. like if we can learn to be sensitive, don't swear at people because you want to get followers. It is not a right thing. And the worst thing is that you are swearing at me, but the worst is happening in your life.
Yeah.
So with that said, like, Archie, success. I love you and thank you so much for coming through.
Oh, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
It
much
was
for having me
It was
as
so
well.
eye-opening. I've been
So
quiet the whole
eye-opening.
episode
Yeah.
because you fed us with so much information that we were not even well informed about. So thank you.
So what
Thank you.
can we expect from you? Are we going to see your pride? What's in your
Obviously, I really want to experience.
You are
the-
coming with me.
You
to
are
Pride.
coming, yes, you're coming with us.
You
Okay,
are
okay,
coming.
okay.
Yes, you are coming with us to
I want to
Pride.
experience. I just want to experience the mainstream gay side. Obviously, I've had my gay. I don't know the secret gay side, but I want to
Yeah.
experience the
The
mainstream
mainstream.
gay. Yeah.
I love the mainstream gays. Gay. Let me tell you why. Have you ever said to then you look at yourself? Now I know how to laugh at ourselves. Sometimes really gay rachatat, really lesbian.
We become so much.
We become so much.
And you know,
I love those spaces, guys.
Cody Priding, you're going to see so many diverse people. Like there's so many people living with albinism that are there.
I want
We've got our
that.
gay people on the wheelchairs. Like
Yes.
it's such an open place to be, and we embrace each other.
Yeah.
So-
I really want to attend Pride.
No, we are
I
going.
cannot wait to
Let
attend
the country
Pride.
open. We will go with you.
Yeah.
We'll go definitely. Oh my, this has been so awesome, guys. Thank you so much. The Queer Way of Life with me, Bujy, with Amanda, Katley, and of course joined by the one and only Archie Success.
Ke apere kwai-kwai, batho.
Batho chomking uno ya kai, una le presentation.
No way, Chomi. I felt like wearing kwai-kwais.
It's a good thing this time we're all matching. See? Because last time ninghateletse but feel like the rainbow colors more. Anyway, guys, with that being said, thank you so much and thank you for choosing the podcast and Chill Network all the time. We appreciate you. We see you. We love you. And most importantly, if you want to come through, you can DM us if you still want to be like, just success. You know, we love having. This is not a celebrity chat show. I've always said.
It's for the people.
It's for the people. So just reach out. We're here for you. And if you would like to start your podcast, very simple. Just send an email to podcast@mashabela.co.za and you can do your thing. As well as ngaphandle swiri. Tina Santand. With that being said, goodbye.
Bye.
Bo, 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 bo. Bo, bo, bo.